the last lesson, we talked about systems, schedules, consistency, quality, things that make it easier for people to come back to your stream. Now we need to talk about who they're coming back for. Because one of the fastest ways to burn out as a streamer is trying to be someone you can't sustain. This lesson is about stream identity. And no, I don't mean your niche, your game, or your branding. A lot of people think stream identity means picking a game or whatever and locking themselves into it forever, for the rest of eternity. That's not what it is. Your stream identity is what it feels like to spend time with you. So it's your tone, your pace, your emotional energy, how safe people feel speaking in your chat, how you react when things go wrong. People don't stay because of the game alone. They stay because of the experience that you as the entertainer provides. Okay, so because we are entertainers, this is an entertainment industry. Don't confuse the two. So I absolutely understand that some streamers build a persona. They're louder, funnier, more energetic than they actually are if you meet them in real life. And I'm not saying that you cannot do that. And I'm not saying that they shouldn't do that. It's all about what is sustainable for you. And what is sustainable for them doesn't mean that that's something you can sustain. I'm saying you need to ask yourself this question. Can I sustain this on my worst day? We talked about this before, and it's something that I'll keep repeating. Because people build systems and processes for the best days, and that's why they fail. Legitimately, that is why they ultimately fail. Streaming is emotionally taxing. Okay, even when things are going great, you're an entertainer. You might as well be on stage performing for a live opera house. Okay, that is going to take a toll on you emotionally. Growing up is exhausting at times, and when you're already exhausted, it becomes exponential. Like you might be an hour into a 2-hour stream and you're like, oh God, I don't know if I can keep going. That is just even worse when nobody's talking in chat, right? So you have to be able to do these things when worst case scenario, worst case you had a shitty day, worst case no one's talking in chat. You have to think about these things. And forced energy can lead to burnout faster than anything else, okay? Because when that starts happening, you're gonna wake up or you're gonna be coming home from work or whatever you do and you're gonna be like, oh my God, I have a stream today. And it's going to be a feeling of dread, which that should not be how you feel starting your stream. It should be something that's exciting, something that you're hopeful for, something that you want to do. And if you start feeling that dread attached to it, I really think that you should self-reflect on something that's going on. And if that ever happens, please feel free to DM me, contact me on YouTube. That's what I'm here for. I want each and every one of you to succeed. So if it's something that you and I can work on together, I'm absolutely open to that. But if your stream only works but you're at 110%, it will not last. It cannot. We don't even, most of us don't function at 100. Okay, most days. I want to make something clear. Being yourself doesn't mean showing up exactly the same every single day. Okay, I'm not saying it has to be a cookie cutter version of yourself every day. It just means choosing a version of yourself that you can uphold consistently. It's not me saying be this way for all eternity. You can have days where you have higher energy. That makes sense. You can have days where you have lower energy. That makes sense. The image that you build around yourself, though, that's the image that can do those things. But if your persona starts to crack on your low energy days and then you're completely different, like tone, emotions, that's where things start to have that incongruity, right? And that dissonance between you and your viewers. I think like it's good to be calm, you know. I still struggle with this. Like, if I'm having a very bad game, like you could definitely tell that it's impacting me, but I would recommend trying to be calm, right? You want to be conversational. It's very good to have conversations with your chat. And I know some of you are going to be like, hey, Angel, that's part of my problem is that nobody's talking to my chat because I have one viewer. I'm with you. Totally understand. Here's the reality of that. You have to talk even if no one is talking back to you. That is probably one of the toughest things that small streamers face because a lot of people are not good at creating conversation out of thin air. But you kind of have to be a magician, right? You kind of do have to be constantly talking. And a tip for this is like whatever game you're playing, make them teaching moments. Hey, like literally narrate what you're doing in an interesting way, possibly. So when I'm playing League and I'm playing top lane and maybe it's a little quiet in stream, I'll be like, okay, so I'm thinking I'll talk about my wave management, like thoughts in my head. I'm going to push this wave so I get this level first and I'll have level advantage. Then I'm going to go attack him. And then if that happens while attacking, like, okay, this is why I succeeded. This is why I failed. You know what I'm saying? So create moments of conversation. So make them teaching moments. Just narrate what you're doing. I want to tell you, your audience doesn't need the most exciting version of you all the time. Like that, but like, so when you're super excited and super passionate, those are like your clippable moments, right? Not every moment's clippable. But that's how you can designate the difference between like, hey, this is kind of like your average what's happening, and like, oh my God, this is an amazing moment. Your stream is excited for this clip. The reliable version of you is the one we need all the time. I'll hear a lot of times people talking about finding your niche. Niche? I never really know. Your niche. Like it's the secret to growth. Like, you know, most of the time they mean, what game are you playing? Hey, find that game. That's your niche. And boom, that's going to make, you know, everything's going to come together after that. But you can succeed in almost any game that you enjoy if the fundamentals are there. But you got to also understand what is success for you. What is success for you now, right? So if you're between like 0 to 5 viewers, which this masterclass is really aimed at, success ought to be at this stage 10 to 15 viewers, maybe even just 10. Okay, that is success right now. So when I'm saying success, I don't mean, hey, be a big time streamer, 1,000 viewers. That's not, we have to set expectations, and you can have milestones as you go. But right now at 0 to 5, your milestone realistically should be 10. How do I get that 10? Right? So that's what I mean by success. So your identity is not about the game you're playing. It's how you show up as a person, as an individual while you're playing it. Your identity also shows up in how you engage with your audience. Are you watching chat? Are you ready to respond when someone speaks? Do people feel safe talking in your space? You want to acknowledge chat as quickly as humanly possible. And I know you could be like in the middle of a fight, a team fight. That's okay. A viewer can kind of understand when if you're engaged in a team fight and they say something and you don't instantly respond, that's fine. But make it a habit that after the team fight, when you're backing or whatever you're doing, you take a glance at your chat. Because at that point, if they still haven't been responded to, that leniency is gone. You want to protect the environment that you're building in your chat. Is this chat a place that you guys talk about mental health, right? You know, some places are like that. You want to be able to make sure that people talking about that, which is a very sensitive topic, other people don't come in and put toxicity into that environment. You have to be prepared to protect the audience that you're bringing into your chat. So if you're having like, this is a mental safe space, and someone comes in and makes that mental safe space unsafe, you have to be the person that protects your viewers. You're their guardian. You have to protect them. Okay, maybe you have a mod that might, you know, that understands where you're at and does that for you. But when you're very early on, you probably don't. You have to be that guy. Brave. Okay, I know some of you are like, oh, but I don't want to lose a viewer. You don't want that guy in your space long term. He will drive out the people you actually want to hang out with. Okay, protect your viewers. Right? This is your responsibility. You want to shut down that behavior as early as possible. People don't come back to places where they feel ignored or where they feel unsafe or unwanted. I would say that one of the strongest identity signals you can send to your viewers is remembering them. Okay? You want to remember your regulars, shared moments that you guys have together, inside jokes, small life details. Now, you know, a lot of people have bad memory. I have kind of bad memory myself, but I will make notes, or I definitely can remember people that come in consistently, right? If it's been several months since you've come in, my brain might struggle, but it'll find it. You know, I'm searching, I'm finding it. But it's extremely important that you actually build genuine connections with your viewers, right? I'm not saying that every single person that pops in for 10 minutes, you know, you have to know their whole life story, but the people that come in every single day, or pretty much every single day, they are trying to build a connection with you. And I would suggest that you remember them. Like if they mention like, hey, you know, insert, you know, they take their daughter to ballet, you know, every day, like, you know, like, hey, how was your daughter's ballet today? Or like, hey, they cook a lot of food all the time. Like, hey, what did you cook today? What is on the menu? You know, these little things, because they matter. These people matter. Okay. They're not just viewers that increase your numbers. They are people with lives. So treat them like that and they'll enjoy coming back to you. You don't need to invent a character. You need to choose a version of yourself that you can show up consistently. Okay, even when you're tired, stressed, or not feeling it. That's how trust is built. So those are our key takeaways. All right. And in the next lesson, we're going to talk about visibility again, but this time, how to create it without overwhelming yourself. It's a simple, low effort way to get seen with the work that you're already doing.